Welcome to our fourth quarter carrier update series, where in every episode, I sit down with a different insurance company representative and ask them what you can expect during the upcoming renewal season. In this series, you'll get product updates directly from the carriers, like what do the new plan designs look like, or is there a network option that you need to be aware of, or what plan designs offer the most savings potential for your prospects and your clients, or what tools and resources does the insurance company make available to you in all those efforts. At the end of the day, we want you to win more business and retain your clients during a busy renewal season. So tune in, buckle up, and enjoy the show. Well, hello and welcome back to another installment of our fourth quarter carrier updates. I'm Jason Powers with Legacy Brokers, and I've got Timothy Strout from Allied National. Timothy is the Associate Director of Sales and Marketing for Allied. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, good morning, Jason. Thanks so much for having me.
We appreciate you being here. As I mentioned, this series is really designed to give agents a way to connect with all the carriers in our market. With everything going on with COVID-19, we've seen a lot of agent meetings get postponed or canceled, and carriers really haven't had a real solid way of touching base with agents, and agents haven't had a real good way of getting carrier information. So probably the biggest news with Allied National is the acquisition of Allied National by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Alabama, which makes Allied National as a TPA a 90-degree benefits company. What can you tell me about? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, obviously that's huge news for Allied National, huge news for the marketplace. Before I get into that, kudos to you for organizing this interview, because you're exactly right. It's been very difficult, well, impossible to get out and face-to-face meet with people. So we've all gotten better at Zoom meetings over time, and this is a terrific way to do that. So thank you, Jason, for inviting me and setting this up, because it is a perfect way to get in front of people.
Sure.
In regard to the Blue Cross of Alabama acquisition of Allied National, such a huge benefit to our company. Allied National has been around for 50 years and had a tremendous book of business and tremendous growth, but it's really, they found a perfect time to have entertained ideas about being acquired. It just happened at the right time, and Blue Cross Alabama came in and has made us a Blue Cross of Alabama 90-degree benefits company. And you won't see a ton of change on the surface because of that, but it will allow us to do a lot of things that maybe we've wanted to do over the years, and certainly give us some capabilities that maybe we didn't have before. So one of the things that has allowed us to do is we reduced rates by about 20% across the board. And you see representation there on the screen of all the states that we're in. One of the other effects of that is that we added about 15 new states that you'll see come onto the screen now. And those are new states that previously we were not in. So 20% reduction in rates, the addition of about 15 states has really expanded the opportunity and expanded the footprint of Allied National, and certainly expanded the opportunity for you all as agents to expand your quoting of Allied National to all these different states.
That's incredible. I know, at least for Legacy, that's going to be beneficial for us. We are obviously a general agency for Allied National, not just in the Kansas and Missouri markets, but we do have agents with national breadth. So it's that's huge for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's certainly gives you more opportunity, and some of the other things that this slide touches on. I'm going to open by saying, not only do you have more opportunity with reduced rates and more states, but Allied National really in the sales arena is improving the process so that those rates will come out much quicker perhaps than you've experienced in the past. So we're really focused, my job at Allied National is really focused on improving that sales function and that sales process so that you get those rates in as quick a way as possible, and that we help you shepherd those groups through the process so that we can ultimately, obviously, and hopefully get to a closed sale. So open enrollment support, we really want to be that company that you come to because we're easy to work with. and we refine that and work on that type of thing every day. Submission tips, as it says there, as quickly as you can get those in, we'll work on it. And I know you all probably polish your groups and scrub them very well, but we try to do the same, as we know what our underwriters are expecting to look at, and we want to make sure those go through as quickly as possible.
Tim, they don't really polish them. We just shove them into Allied
You
National.
just
We
throw
hope
them out there and see what happens. Well,
we depend
sometimes
on you guys to do all the scrubbing. We
that's
gotta get
okay.
our agents out selling. So no,
We can do that too,
I can
for
tell you
sure.
that our experience with Allied when it comes to scrubbing cases, we appreciate all the support that we get from Allied's team, and making sure that all our T's are crossed and all our I's are dotted. So we
Well,
definitely.
we certainly appreciate that, but I was a broker for years, so I definitely understand. And the reason that I've taught my team to sort of take control of that as well and rescrub them, if you will, is because we want those to process as quickly as possible and
Sure.
help both the agent and underwriting with that process. So one other cool feature, Jason, I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but some of our paperwork goes through on DocuSign. So there's certainly a degree of paper apps that still go back and forth, but the final bits of paperwork are submitted first to the agent to sign off on DocuSign documents, and then they're forwarded directly to the client, who also digitally signs off. So that should be a quicker step and a time-saving step that helps each of us process those groups a little bit quicker.
It has been. We've experienced DocuSign sort of throughout the industry, and it's been a time saver consistently this last probably
Good.
3 months.
Yeah.
So we appreciate seeing Allied move to that format.
Awesome. Well, a couple of other things. Allied's a little bit different than some others, that we offer 100% refund of our claims fund. So that's a really good benefit. They do not have to renew. Of course, we hope they do, but they do not have to renew. But that claims fund will be refunded at 100%.
And
And then finally, we do a really good job with the smaller groups. I know that says 2 to 99, but really 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, the smaller groups we really enjoy working with. So again, whatever we can do to help that process and help you as the agent sell more business, that's really our focus.
yeah, and something I think to really drive home there is that surplus. There's a lot of level funded plans out there now that more the carrier models that don't return 100% of the surplus in that claims fund, or if they return any bit of it, it's generally tied to renewal. And you mentioned that with Allied they don't have to renew,
Right.
and it really is a plan asset, meaning that the owner or the employer and the group actually own those claims funds. So being
Absolutely.
able to return those at 100% is definitely a differentiator for Allied. There's
Yeah.
really not a product update though, right? I mean, you don't have new plan designs because it's really not a cookie cutter plan design with Allied. We can
Yeah. Good point.
it's cool. It's customizable.
It is, and actually, that we were on the same wavelength there, because I was thinking exactly the same thing. We've got a lot of different variations inside of our plan designs that you can choose for your client. Just real briefly, I'll touch on one so I don't take too much time. But we've got a very good cost-saving option called the Essentials Plan. And the Essentials Plan is pretty unique because even though it's a very rich benefit major medical plan, it creates really all of the cost savings you could possibly want or have inside a sort of standardized plan. You can still obviously choose deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses. But one thing that's interesting about it that it does is it carves out or excludes specialty drug coverage. Now, on one hand, you might say that's a disadvantage. On the other, as a broker, I remember shopping my groups, and if you've got some huge specialty drug exposure and you're just getting 10 different quotes with 10 different inflated rates, but with the Essentials Plan, because it doesn't cover specialty drugs, that exposure, that expense is not figured into the rate. So it can give you a pretty exceptional option for that type of challenge.
Yeah, and if you've got, if you're an agent going through that process and underwriting, and we find that we've got a case that looks otherwise looks really good, except for maybe a participant in the group that has a need for a specialty medication. There are ways to source those medications outside of the health plan that we make sure to that agents understand that those are just strategic solutions that you can add on to level funded or self-funded, partially self-funded programs. But if Allied's not rating for them, that puts them in a more competitive position when you're trying to get a case moved over to partially self-funded programs.
Yeah, and you make a good point, Jason, in that we don't leave those specialty drug needs people high and dry. We actually have our medical management team work with them to see what options and opportunities are out there to find coverage or reduced prices for those specialty drugs. So we certainly pay attention to that as well.
Yeah, for sure. I know that touching on underwriting, you mentioned that you've made some changes there in the sales process to expedite the turnaround times, and I know that we've seen the fruits of that here in the last few months. But it is individual medical questionnaires. These are Allied hasn't gone down the path of GRX or
Right.
some circumventing any kind of real medical underwriting. It's we've got to get applications, and our agents, at least the ones that are going through that underwriting process with their cases through Legacy, I think take advantage of our access to FormFire, and I know Allied is on the FormFire system. So, what are you seeing? What are you seeing turnaround times in underwriting right now?
We're really working on reducing those turnaround times, but as you and I, Jason, spoke a little bit, what we're trying to do is as soon as we get a case or applications in, we want underwriting to look at those quickly and give us a sense or give you a sense of what that rate might be. And so we're turning that around in, I'm going to say 3 or so business days to at least give you some rate. The second half of that is to get a final rate. Obviously, we want that pre-screen to get as close to that as possible. But one of the reasons if we have any questions on the apps, our underwriters may give a participant a phone call. One of those reasons is to actually reduce the rate.
Sure.
It's a little bit like the Affordable Care Act is those plans are the worst case scenario, right? Because you can't get any worse. But the reason is because the premium is built so high.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do, even in underwriting, filling out apps, and if we have to make a phone call, we really want to get to how low can we make this rate? So if you tell me you're taking an expensive name brand drug, but our underwriter calls and says and asks, and that's really a generic, well, that really bodes well for reducing the rate and getting the best rate possible. And that's why we do those things.
For sure. And I know that with Allied, probably the most competitive proposal we see in the small group space is going to be on the Freedom platform, where Allied kind of leads the charge, I think, in all of our products with a reference-based plan down to 2 employees, and you've been Allied's been doing RBP for some time. I think probably one of the first to do it with small group.
Yes.
What are you seeing from just out of curiosity? More cases going Freedom, more cases going PPO.
Absolutely.
What's the trend with Allied?
Here's what I'd say is I'd encourage, as you work with Allied or quote Allied, I would almost always encourage you towards the reference-based pricing plan for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, it's less expensive. It reduces the rate. Secondly, we've got to think about that not like a broker, because as a broker, sometimes we think about that as, oh gosh, what happens if, balance billing or whatever. But if you think of it like and I'll come back to that, but if you think of it like a client might think of it, the message really is, gosh, you can go to any doctor and any hospital.
Yeah.
There's really no limitations. And believe me, if you haven't tried that, it's hard to get people to understand that concept because there's no out-of-network benefit, right? Because nobody's technically out-of-network.
Right.
But it's a huge selling point in the mind of a buyer to say, wow, I don't have to pull up a directory. I don't have to find if my doctor's in it. Now, the other side of that, as brokers and agents, we know, is, gosh, what happens if they get balance billed?
Right.
Well, we actually just created an advanced, what we call our elite team, to handle any balance bill inquiry. And getting back to Jason's original question, to some numbers, about 85% of our book is reference-based pricing. And
Wow.
that's really about all we're doing these days, because we're finding it's just not worth the added premium to do the PPO options, although we can. Um, but the other thing is the incidence of balance billing or not acceptance of Allied National is extremely low, like at 2 to 3%. So it just doesn't happen that often. And of course, as brokers, we feel a little scared about it, but the truth is, it really does not become an issue very often. And even if it does, Allied National guarantees that that participant is not responsible for the balance bill payment. And we've got a great team to specifically take care of that and negotiate the payment to the doctor.
That's key, right? The key to all that is the guarantee that there will be no balance bill to the member, and that's something that as agents start to migrate cases over to reference-based pricing and those type of plans, that's something that gives them some security in knowing that they're not going to have. They might have some noise, but they're not going to have situations where a claim doesn't get paid.
Exactly.
It'll eventually get settled out, but it just you're not going to have any member involvement in that. And I think for most agents, you mentioned educating the client is also a piece of that. You've got to make sure that members know they can't sit on outstanding invoices from a provider.
Good point.
It's a lot
Yes.
easier for Allied to negotiate a balance bill, within a few weeks of knowing about it
Yes.
versus trying to negotiate a balance bill from 6 months ago.
Exactly. Very good point.
Providers want to be paid pretty fast. So
Right.
I know that the cases that we have had using the Allied Freedom platform, we've not seen any kind of claims issues on our side with
Good.
regard to balance bills. Anything that comes through gets settled pretty quickly. So
Awesome. Yeah. The percentage of challenges are very low, and the time frame of settling those challenges is very short. I think it's somewhere within 10 days that those get resolved.
yeah, that's great. So we've been through the 90-degree transition. The rates are down across the board in all the states. What do we got in store for agents as far as bonuses go?
Yeah, so we save the best for last, really, or one of the best things for last. So we've got an incredible bonus program going on, which, I saw this bonus program before we introed it, and I thought, gosh, I wish I was an agent and was able to do this, because the bonus program is extremely rich and it runs clear through groups that will be effective as late as February 1st. So anything you put on the books until February 1st effective dates, you will get this bonus on. And the bonus is a $50 bonus per employee in each group that you sell for your first group. For your second group, that goes to $75 per employee. And for the third group and beyond, it's $100 per employee for each group you put on the books.
Wow. Wow. And that's
So
for
that can
the
really add up
major
quick.
medical side. Then you've got Cost Saver, which is a great program we didn't really get to cover in this video, but
You didn't?
Cost Saver is a great program, great alternative to the more robust, comprehensive major medical.
Yes.
What you got bonus for that as well?
Yes, so that's part of the program. And just a quick thought on Cost Saver, that's perfect for your small groups that just can't afford or don't want to provide an ACA type or full major medical benefits plan. It's a limited benefit plan on the hospitalization side, but still it can be a terrific plan, and there's no underwriting.
Love that part.
Yes.
That's great. So Tim, I got to tell you, as we kind of wrap things up, I noticed when we got started, and I failed to mention that you're wearing your Chiefs gear. It is Red
It's
Friday.
Red Friday. I was a little trepidatious. Okay to dress down, but thank you. I'm glad it's okay.
And I'm wearing my Allied blue. So
Well, that's interesting, Jason, because typically this would have doubled for the Allied color, but now we've gone to Blue Cross Blue, 90
got
degree
the blue,
blue.
yeah.
I am off on that note.
Well, Tim, I appreciate you being on today. I know it took us some time to get through some scheduling challenges, but very good information. I think the agents will appreciate knowing what's going on with Allied in the fourth quarter. Any last words of advice for them as they venture off into the final 3 months of the year that we wish
Make
would have
hay
been a
while the
little
sun
different?
shines, right? There's lots of opportunity here in the fourth quarter. And believe it or not, a lot of these small groups still have not heard of level funding. I just love coming across ACA groups, and my clever response to them is, oh, that's great. That's the worst case scenario, but it might be just what you need. Would you be interested in looking at some other options? So lots of good opportunity, and Allied National has some awesome possibilities that we'd love for you to try out.
Wonderful. Well, again, Tim, I appreciate you being on. We'll say happy fourth quarter, and I guess for this weekend, go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Jason, you're great. Thanks for this.
Thanks, Tim. We'll see you. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode in our fourth quarter carrier update series. Be sure to check out all the episodes on our website at www.legacybrokerskc.com, and follow us on LinkedIn to join in the conversation. And let us help you with your fourth quarter cases. Whether you have a tough renewal that you need help with or you have a new prospect, we shop the entire market to get the most competitive rates available for you every single year. Let our expertise in self-funded group health plans be your competitive advantage. We provide an entire suite of back office support services for agents, from quoting to case install and renewal support. We have your back every step of the way, always here to help agents just like you when you need us. So, send us your RFP today. See for yourself.